No. Honorable colleagues, this is a special sitting to mark the end of the year and pass the budget. That was meant to be the only item on the agenda today, was for the passage of the budget, but we will take a couple more. We'll take a couple of motions. We'll just have whoever it is read the title and the prayers. Don't even read the body. Don't even read the body. The title and prayers, we put the question. And then it's just been drawn to my attention that we stepped down MTEF last time, and we must pass MTEF before we pass the budget. So again, we'll get finance to just basically read the MTEF and let's pass it. I think we're all aware of what's the contents of the MTEF are. So I don't think we should be here for really at best more than an hour, and we can leave. The two main important issues, MTEF and the budget. Yeah. It looks like we have. So please, just the title, prayers, we put the question. We really don't have time for from our previous communication from the finance, budget, and national planning, the 2020 capital component of the Police Trust Fund was sent. So I will the proposed bill will just be committed to the Committee on Police Affairs for further legislative deliberation. Honorable members, I have examined and approved the second votes and procedure of Thursday, 17 December 2020. Minority Leader, please, can you have a motion, title, and prayers, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anoche Shumli Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, my motion is on the need to investigate abandoned 19.2 billion railway rehabilitation contract awarded to ESSA Contracting Industry Company Incorporated. My resolution is to mandate, set up another committee to investigate these allegations and report back to the House within 6 weeks. I so move.
Honorable Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I move to second the motion ably moved by the House of the Minority Leader, that we waive the House rules so that we can take it immediately. Oh. I'm seconding that it be passed. Thank you.
Quickly bring it. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Hollins. That's the title and prayer.
Colleagues, I remain Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Halim. I represent Ampa Omala, the Federal Constituency from Kogi State. I rise to move this motion of urgent matter of public importance on the urgent need for the federal government to release dedicated special fund for the immediate commencement of local production of firearms and ammunition through the partnership through collaboration of Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, DICE, Kaduna, and National Meteorological Development Center, NMDC, JOS, for deployment by our security, terrorism, and insecurity in Nigeria. That's the players. Okay.
The resolutions. Go straight to the resolution.
Okay. Distinguished Speaker, honorable colleagues, the House do resolve that Mr. President dedicates a release sum of 3 billion naira for the immediate takeoff of local production of firearms and ammunition through this partnership. That a special team of professionals from the two agencies of government involved in the proposed partnership will be set up for the immediate takeoff of the pilot project with the mandate to start production within 1 year. Number 3, mandates the Committee on Defense to coordinate the agencies of government involved. And prayer number 3, which is the final prayer, mandates the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues.
Honorable Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear honorable colleagues, I am Engineer Joseph Asukubelo, and I have the honor of representing the great people of Adavi, the KE Federal Constituency. I am from Kogi State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my brother, Honorable Alims. I so second.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. I have it. Isaac, what's your point of order?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Rep. Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka. I represent the very good people of Ifor, Iwiko Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ogun State. I want to rely on Order 806, that's some personal privilege, for a personal explanation based on my contribution on this floor on Thursday last week, Mr. Speaker, in respect to the motion moved for constitution of an ad hoc committee on the agreements and other treaties reached by federal.
Can you take off your, we can't hear you.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, there's a way you try to shout, oh God, and people will dance with you. And there's a way you are going to shout it and people will run away. So on Thursday last week, the motion was moved on this floor, and I made some contributions. I just stand as a matter of my own privilege to inform Mr. Speaker and the House that I've been well informed about the motion and to rescind both my contribution and decision on the motion. Mr. Speaker,
I can't hear what you're saying. Okay, you want to amplify on that? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Toby Okechukwu is my name. I represent an area of Wajiro Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, is with regard to the motion we moved on Thursday regarding leased assets and then abandoned properties. So he has got a better and further briefing regarding the contributions he made and has come to understanding that they are very distinct and in every material will contribute to the common good.
Okay, that motion from Thursday, yes. Chairman Business, you were meant to look into that. What was your finding?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I I cross-checked that there is no bearing whatsoever. Honorable Toby's motion. Honorable Toby's motion is on lease of federal government assets. Honorable Kuye's assignment is on abandoned properties. So the two have there's no bearing completely. So I think
there's no bearing. They are
bearing.
distinct.
They are distinct.
Okay.
So Honorable Toby should be allowed to complete his motion.
Okay. No, I think the motion was more or less completed. It was during the debate that, so I guess the motion is carried, and we'll put the question. Honorable Toby, what was the title of the motion again? We had already debated it on Thursday. Now that there's a finding that it's separate from the clarity has been given by the chairman, business and rules, can you just read the title again so that we can quickly put the question?
So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the motion was actually debated. You had put the question, then there was a few amendments, which you now said, okay, let him step in and do that. So it was in regard to the need to investigate, set up an ad hoc committee to investigate leased assets of the federal government so that it could be used to raise further revenue for the government. Thank you very much.
Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The ad hoc committee will be headed by Dan Asuku, and the members' list will be communicated. Honorable Gagdi, title and prayer, please.
Speaker, I'm Yusuf Gagdi. I represent Panshinkanke Kanama. I'm from Plateau State. My motion is the urgent need to verify capital projects executed and funds repeated in Appropriation Act from 2015 till date. And my prayer is the House resolved to constitute an ad hoc committee to verify and provide detailed reports of all projects repeated in the budget from 2015 till date, verify and provide detailed report on funds released and repeated in subsequent budget, and mandate the ad hoc committee to complete its assignment within 4 months. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Luga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Representative Taiwo Oluga, Ira Consensus. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Osun State. I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague. I still second.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Committee will be headed by Honorable Maki Yeleman. The membership list will be communicated by the clerk. Chinedu, quick, title and prayer. And I'm assuming that because it's a special session, we've suspended our rules to take more than 2. So quickly.
I'm from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion on the urgent need to put a stop to the arbitrary increase in the transportation fare during festive period, with specific reference to land transport. My prayers, number 1, Mr. Speaker. The House resolved that 1, urge the Ministry of Transport to, as a matter of urgent national importance, to put modalities in place to monitor the activities of transport operators across the country, especially during this year-too, in order to curtail the obscene hike in fare price, which must go with stipulated sanction on erring operators as deterrence to others. 2, mandate the House Committee on Transport to interfere with the relevant agencies in ensuring that such seasonal arbitrariness comes to an end. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Seconder, does it? No, wait. Okay, anybody will bid it.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Bid. My name is Honorable Bid Uchenna Eke. Mr. Speaker, I represent the good people of Abombi Sengobal of Federal Constituency. I'm from Imo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Emeka Chinedu that the House relax.
Take your seat.
The House relax every relevant rules for us to consider this motion as a matter of urgent public importance. Thank you.
The motion has already been moved and the prayer, I believe. So those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. I believe that's the last for today. Honorable Balogun. Oh, from last week. Okay, title, just the title and the prayer, please.
My name is Honorable Bayo Balogun, member representing Bejuleki Federal Constituency of Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, the need to urgently Port Enterprise Limited on the coastal fishing community of Bejuleki, Lagos State. Prayer. The House needs to mandate the House Committee on Environment to urgently visit the communities for a first-hand assessment of the situation and report back in 4 weeks after the holidays. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ododo, please second.
Olododo Cook Abdul Ghani. Speaking for the people of Ilori East, Ilori South Federal Constituency, and from state of Albany, Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, I hereby second the motion raised by my friend. I so second.
Today is a special session. I'm not sure there's going to be points of order, but what is your point of order? We want to go straight to, today is not a regular sitting day. What's the point of order?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I came under Ed Rog 4 to move that the House do suspend our rules to take a motion on the urgent need to avert further loss of lives over a boundary crisis in Dara-Zoganjua, Federal Constituency of Bauchi State.
Sorry, urgent need to do what?
Urgent need to avert further loss of lives over a boundary crisis in Daras-Ugonjwa Federal Constituency of Bauchi State.
In Bauchi State.
Yes, sir.
Any seconder? Chinedu. Honorable Chinedu. Oh, who's that? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Dennis Idahosa. I represent the good people of Ovia Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Deputy Chairman Finance here. Okay, I think that will be our first business of the day. The issue, MTF. So go ahead, can you move for its passage? So we can go on to the main business of the day.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Said Musa Abdullahi. I represent the people of Bida Bako Kacha Federal Constituency. I am from Niger State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the harmonized conference report of the Joint Committee of Senate and House of Rep on the 2021-2023 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
So any seconder?
Deputy.
Jaga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I'm Mohammed Umar Jega, representing Aliru Gondu Jega Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleagues. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Can somebody please lay your report? Second business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Appropriation on a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, the total sum of 13,588,27,886,175 naira only, of which 496,528,421,273 naira only is for statutory transfers. 3,324,380,000,000 naira only is for debt service. 5,641,970,060,680 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 4,125,149,354,222 naira only is for contribution to the development fund for capital expenditure for the year ending on the 31st day of December 2020, standing in the name of Honorable Aliu Mukhtar Betera. Honorable members recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 14th October 2020. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Betera is invited to present the report.
Very Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, my name is Honorable Mukhtar Betra Aliu, member representing the good people of Bayo, Bayelsa and the Federal Constituency. I'm from Borno State. That this House do receive the report of the Committee on Appropriation on a bill for an act to authorize the issuance of the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation for the total sum of 13,588,886,167 naira only, of which 496,528,461,273 naira only is for statutory transfers, while 3,324,381 naira only is for debt service. 5,641,971,600,680 naira only is for recurrent and non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 4,125,149,354,222 naira only is for contributions to development funds for the capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2020. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Engineer Sonny, second.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Engineer Sanu Bala. I represent Kunchi Sanya Federal Constituency from Kano State, and I rise to second the motion as ably moved by Chairman Appropriation. I so second.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Once again, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, first order of the day, this is, we're improvising, this is not on your, this is on the MTF. This is the consideration of reports on the Committee on Finance or the medium-term expenditure framework. So I'll call on Honorable the Deputy Chairman to move for his consideration.
Colleagues, I remain Honorable Said Musa Abdullahi. I represent the people of Bida Wapokacha Federal Constituency. I'm from Niger State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do consider the harmonized conference report of the Joint Committee of Senate and the House of Representatives on the 2021-2023 medium-term expenditure framework, MTF, and fiscal strategy paper. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ari. Can you second, please?
Colleagues, my name is Honorable Ari Mohammed Abdul Mumin. I represent Nasarawa Toto Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to second the motion ably moved by the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Finance. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Second order of the day is consideration of report on the Committee on Appropriations on a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 13,588,27,886,175 naira only, of which 496,528,461,273 528,471,273 naira only is for statutory transfers. 3,324,380 naira only is for debt service. 5,641,970,000,000 60,680 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 4,125,149,354,222 naira only is for contribution to the development fund for capital expenditure for the year ending on the 31st day of December 2021. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Monday, 21st December 2020, and I'll call on Honorable Aliyu Mukhtar Betara to move for its consideration.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, please recall that the joint sitting of the National Assembly on Thursday, 8 October 2020, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria presented the 2021 appropriation bill to the National Assembly. The 2021 budget is aimed at growing the nation's economy at fast pace. The budget contains estimate of revenue and expenditure in the aggregate of 13,82,420,568,233 naira only. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the committee has worked tirelessly with the standing committee, including its Senate's counterpart, to ensure quality work. The result of which the presentation today before this Honorable House, preparing this report, the committee is guided by the revenue parameters provided by the National Assembly for MTF as stated below. Highlights of the bill worked on are as follows. Aggregate expenditure, 13,327,886,175 naira only. Statutory transfers, 496,528,471,273 naira only. Recurrent expenditure, 5,641,979,060,680 naira only. Capital expenditure, 4,125,141,304,221 naira only. Debt service, 3,324,380,000,000 naira only. A number of observations came up in the course of processing this bill. This includes, among others, the negative effect of COVID-19 under projection of the total revenue reflecting the economy and the need for optimal allocation of resources. In addition, we observed the enhancement of the bill through the receipt of the most pending requests from the executive, particularly the 365 billion request in order to obscure the National Social Investment Program, which has overall effect on reflecting the economy. A major recommendation in the view of increasing the total global oil price, which is above the benchmark of $40, the executive may consider the submission of supplementary appropriation bill in the event of seeming sustainable improvement of the oil price. This will help quicken the exit of the economy from the current state of recession. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, at the end of our work, having aimed at the report, the various standing committees on the 2021 appropriation bill, the committee has recommended the budget aggregate to the sum of 13,588,027,886,233 8,167 naira only, alongside with other parameters as reflected in the order paper. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, before I sit down, I want to thank my colleagues as honorable chairman of committees, though there are committees that we agree and we disagree because of the work on the appropriation. If there's anybody that I faulted, I apologize, but I'm doing my work. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Any seconder?
Aye.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Amin Ashurmani is my name, representing Mindamani. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kazan State. I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by Chairman Appropriation, and I so second. Thank you.
Okay, motion moved by Honorable Betara, seconded by Honorable Ashimani. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. House Leader, please move that the House resolve to Committee of Supply.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My respected colleagues, members of the House of Representatives, Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the people of Tudunwada Dogwa Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move as directed by the Right Honorable Speaker that this House do move to Committee of Supply to consider report. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Ruru, please second.
Mr. Chairman, the Right Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by the Leader of the House. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Motion moved by the Leader of the House, seconded by Honorable Ruru. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. House hereby resolves the Committee of Supply. Honorable colleagues, before we go straight into the appropriation bill, we'll take the MTF very quickly. Just take Deputy Chairman, can you give us a quick summary?
Okay. Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues, following the discrepancies between the Senate and House of Rep report on the 2021-2023 MTF and FSP, the two chambers appointed a conference committee to examine the differences.
Order, please. Order, please.
The joint conference committee
Honorable
harmonized
Jobe.
the differences.
Order, please. Leader, Honorable Jobe, Honorable Danduse.
Yeah? Disagreement. Okay. Following.
So I'm assuming that your report was different from that of the Senate, and you guys went to conference. Harmonization.
Yeah.
And that is the report.
That's the report I just relayed.
Okay. All right, continue.
Yeah. Harmonized report. The two chambers appointed a conference committee to examine the differences, and the joint conference committee harmonized the differences and made the recommendations herein for consideration and adoption by the Senate and House of Reps, respectively. Our recommendations are as follows: that daily crude production should be placed at an average of 1.86 million barrels per day, benchmark oil price of $40 per barrel, exchange rate of 3.79 per US dollars, GDP growth rate of 3%, inflation rate of 11.95, FGN return revenue 7.99 trillion, total FGN proposed expenditure 13.58 trillion, fiscal deficit 5.60 trillion, including that of GOEs. New borrowings 4.28 trillion, including foreign and domestic borrowing. Statutory transfers 484.4 billion, debt service of 3.12 trillion, sinking fund 220 billion, pension, gratuities and retirees benefits 520.6 billion, total FGN expenditure 13.58 trillion, total recurrent non-debt 5.66 trillion. In conclusion, the Joint Conference Committee expresses appreciation to the leadership of the Senate and the House of Rep and the entire members for the opportunity to serve. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we'll go straight to it. I mean, the spirit paper, we'll take it one by one. Report as presented on daily crude oil production carried. Carried $40. 39 carried. 3% carried. Gold growth rate 11.9. Government of Nigeria retained revenue. Government proposed expenditure. Deficit 5.6 trillion. Laughing. New borrowings 4.28 trillion carried. Transfer carried. 12 carried. And 20 billion and retiree benefit. Government expenditure 13.58. Rent non-debt 5.66. MDAs 3.05. Total expenditure exclusive of transfers 3.58. Intervention recurrent. Intervention capital 20 billion. 20 billion carried. Thank you. MTF carried. Chairman, appropriation. The summary, please. The synopsis. Just a small one-paragraph synopsis of the report, and then we'll just give us a one-paragraph synopsis.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues,
I've done the summary of their...
Silence, please. Silence, please.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I've already done the summary of the budget. It's for you to just carry on the budget.
That's what I was just saying, that we've already done it anyway. I'll just say that. Okay. So we'll just go to the schedule. Because it's so voluminous, we'll go to the total. We'll summarize. Revenue. Revenues. The aggregate revenues, inflow expenditure 7.7 trillion 886,412,575,941. Carried. Aggregate expenditure surplus deficit 13.082420568231. Carried. Aggregate financing items 5.196007992.292. Carried. Okay. There's a deficit, supply surplus deficit 5.196007992.292. And the aggregate financing items, which is 5.196007992.292. Okay, we said Part A, Federation revenue. Share of the Federation revenue, 350259265867. Independent revenue, 961-898-590-939. Part C, aids and grants, 354-852-661-650. Special levies, accounts transfers to consider revenue fund, 300 billion. Total revenue net of operating surplus 1348837107960. Part F. Total is 1418231556785. Statutory transfer 496528471 Debt service, which is Part H, 312438000000. Carried. Sinking fund 3,324,380,000,000. Carried. Recurrent non-debt expenditure executive. Carried. The subtotal for executive is 3,361,173,906,215. Federal executive bodies. Federal executive bodies, government-owned enterprises, pensions, gratuities, and retirees' benefits. 504191130,679. Military pensions and gratuities 1867484951159. NHIS military retirees 8571-846-329. Police pensions and gratuities 7408,000. Immigration and Prisons Pensions Office 7900-000. Universities pensions including arrears 15,537,657,501. Parastatals pensions and railway pensions 30,502,699,595. Security 12,146,093,389. Intelligence Agency 9326641130. NEMCO 31292843,814. Total 153,552,872,477. Other services wide votes 752,191,855,311. Total CRF charges 1,256,382,985,990. Debt 1,641,970,060,680. Expenditure. We go straight on the executive side. We go to the total 2,726,070,153,229. For the executive bodies, federal executive bodies, government-owned enterprises, capital supplementation 315,593,381,300. Total capital supplementation 1,060,751,051,650. Expenditure 4,125,149,354,222. Expenditure 13,588,027,886,175. We'll go now to the clauses which are just as important. Clause 1. First schedule. Sorry. Yeah, clause 2. Carried. Amendment. Carried. Test revenue. Clause 5. Clause 6. Authorization. Information on funds releases. You guys are in a hurry to go home. Clause 8, due process certification. Due process certification. Clause 10. Clause 11. Expiry Constitution 1999, Clause 12. Short title 11. Sorry, Clause 13. Clause 14. There's no Clause 14. Long title. Leader. Carry to plenary.
Thank you. members. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, this time around, by the leave of members on the green chair on the floor of the House, they have asked me to carry unconditionally that we revert to plenary and report progress. I wonder what quite an unprecedented treatment we have this day. So we are grateful on behalf of the government and the people of Nigeria that we have today passed 2021 Appropriation Act. Thank you and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Honorable Gimba.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, thanks for the opportunity. I am Honorable Zainab Jimba. I represent Bamangala Kalabalge. I stand from Borno State. I stand to second the motion heavily moved by the leader. I so second.
The DS was disturbing me. I can't remember. What was the motion you are seconding? Honorable Gimba, what's the motion? The DS was disturbing me. I don't know.
Mr. Speaker, that we should revert back to plenary.
Okay.
I so second.
Okay. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, the House and the Committee of Supply consider the report of the Conference Committee on the 2021-2023 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper and approved the 20 recommendations in the report. Also, the House and the Committee of Supply consider the report of the Committee on Appropriations and approved clauses 1 to 13, the second schedule, and the long title of the bill. Honorable, House Leader, please move that we adopt the...
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My honorable colleagues, members of the House, Alhassan Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the people of Dogwa, Tudunwada Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'm from Kano State. I rise to move that this House do adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Nkiru, please can you help us a second?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Kiru Kaonye Georgia. I represent the good people of Isuwa Tumulo, the Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. I rise to second that the House do adopt the report as considered in the Committee of Supply. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. That's what he came to tell me. Honorable colleagues, we'll take I think there's a supplementary order paper for a motion on our House rules. Leader of the, Chairman, Business and Rules, please move your motion.
I represent Purniwa Krika Samaguni Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Jigawa State. Amendment to standing orders of the House of Representatives. House notes that the standing order was at the inception of 9th Assembly, 9th House of Representatives, reviewed and additional committees were created to position the House to oversight ministries, departments, and agencies effectively. Also notes that in the course of its operations, needs have arisen to create more additional committees in order for the House to discharge its constitutional mandate. Further note the need for the provisions of standing orders to be in conformity with the extant laws regulating the legislative house. Resolved to amend the standing orders as follows. A. Order 1. Insert the word "to be" before the word "conducted" in the shoulder note. B. Order 2, Rule 1.3, delete the comma after the words "clerk" to the National Assembly and insert instead "and where not available," unquote. C. Order 6, Rule 1.3, insert the words "or the standing orders of the House," unquote, immediately after the year 2017 therein. D. Order 8, Rule 4.2, insert the words "and not addressed immediately" after the words "to persist." Introduce new subtitle 9, sub-rule 9.5, thus: any other matter shall be on notice only. Any other matter shall be on notice only. E. Order 8, Rule 7.2, after the words "present only," introduce the following: for the purpose of this rule, simple majority shall be arrived at by division of the House or by electronic voting, unquote. F. Order 10, Rule 4.13, insert immediately after the words "a principal officer" the words "or the chairman committee on rules and business." G. G1. Order 10, Rule 3, substitute the word "offered" with the word "before." Roman figure 2, G. Order 10, Rule 5.6, insert the words "or removed" immediately after the word "suspended" in line 1. G. Roman figure 3, Order 10, Rule 5.8, replace the figure 120 with the figure 90. G4, Roman figure 4, Order 10, Rule 5.15, in line 3, insert "and" slash after the word 6 months. G5, Order 10, Rule 6.1, introduce new subtitle, new sub-rule E. Thus, indulges in any act which in the opinion of the House amounts to misconduct or affronts the dignity of the House. I. In paragraph 6 of Order 10, Rule 6, replace the figure 14 with figure 90. E. Roman figure 2, in Rule 6, add the word "or" after the words "service of the House." E. introduce new subtitle sub-rule 221 as follows. All bills and motions shall be considered on the principle of first come, first served, except directed otherwise by the Speaker. 8. Order 18, Rule 26, make the existing sub-rule 6 as sub-rule 6A and introduce new sub-rule 6B. Thus, notwithstanding provision of sub-rule 6A, the Speaker may remove or change the leadership of any committee. 8. Order 18, Rule 31G, replace the existing provisions, a new provision as follows. Any matter referred to a committee shall be treated within 30 days. Otherwise, the committee shall stand discharged after 60 days, except upon motion of extension of time, which shall not exceed 15 days, and the matter committed to the committee of the whole or any committee as the Speaker may decide from time to time. 9. Order 18, Rule 9D, replace for the existing provision of sub-rule D, a new provision thus. D. Whenever it is determined by a majority of members present that the evidence or testimony of an investigative hearing may threaten national security, endanger a witness, tend to defame or incriminate any person or persons, or in the national interest, that such evidence or testimonies be taken in closed session. The committee shall proceed to dissolve into a closed session for that purpose. 10. Committee on Diaspora, insert the word scholarship before the word programs. 11. Committee on Women Affairs, delete the National Commission for Persons with Disability. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder, please. Honorable Jubel, second, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues. I hereby second the motion moved by the Chairman, Rules and Business.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, we have come to the end of this special session and today's proceedings until the next year. I'll make a few remarks before we close. Honorable colleagues, over the last 2 months, we have been occupied primarily with our efforts to complete our work on the 2020 appropriation bill in time to ensure the budget becomes law before the end of the year. We have worked with the federal government, ministries, departments, and agencies to set priorities. We reached out to stakeholders and citizens groups. We liaised with constituencies or with constituents to understand their expectations and reflect their expectations, those expectations in our consideration of the appropriation bill. I am glad to report that these efforts have been worthwhile, and today we have passed the budget in the House of Representatives in good time to maintain the January to December budget cycle in line with the commitments we made when we resumed office. The January to December budget cycle
Please, order. Honorable members, please.
is necessary to ensure effective implementation of our annual budgets to meet our nation's development challenges. By our joint efforts and the grace of God, we will maintain this standard for every year we are in office and leave a legacy for our successors to aspire to. When we resumed in January of this year, the coronavirus was a novel development, still confined for the most part to China. We do not know that our economy will be upended in a few months and our lives disrupted by a pandemic we did not anticipate and were not prepared for. We did not foresee a world where citizens will be confined to their homes for months, unable to earn a living, denied the freedom to live full lives in the company of friends and colleagues, family and loved ones. Yet, when the moment came, we did not shrink away from it. Within the limits of our brutal realities, with our options limited by a scarcity of resources, by dilapidated infrastructure and outdated laws, we acted to slow the spread of disease, to treat the sick, comfort the afflicted, and provide for the most vulnerable in our nation's citizens. The truth is, we have done better than many believed was possible, better than many nations, even the most advanced. Our economy has taken a big hit, but through partnership with the private sector, government has been able to prevent the nightmare scenarios that some predicted. Members of the House, together and individually, made financial contributions to support welfare provisions for citizens. There is virtually no constituency in the country that did not feel the impact of efforts by their representatives. I commend you all, and I thank you most sincerely. In an unprecedented single-day session, we passed the Emergency Economic Stimulus Bill to provide targeted economic relief in response to the emerging threat. We did this because before the coronavirus breached our borders, because we anticipated and sought to prevent the worst possible outcomes. That legislation never became law, but yet the bill's specific objectives have been implemented through executive action to defer mortgages, remove duties on medical imports, provide salary relief, and related financial support for small and medium-scale enterprises in the country. Despite an extraordinary torrent of misinformation and political mischief, the House moved forward with landmark legislation to reform our nation's obsolete statutory framework for preventing and managing infectious diseases and pandemics so that we can be better prepared for the next time. We worked with the executive to address medical doctors and healthcare workers' welfare demands and resolve a labor dispute that would have resulted in strike actions and walkouts with devastating consequences for too many of our citizens amidst a raging and deadly pandemic. Because of the House of Representatives, hazard allowance became part of the medical and pandemic lexicon in this country. The intervention of the House elevated the welfare of healthcare workers to a ministerial issue and saw to it that these hazard allowances were provided for and paid. We convened a conference of speakers of African parliaments in a broad collaboration to renegotiate the terms of our national debt and free up much needed resources for development, whilst committing to a new regime of responsible administration of public resources. We recognize that governance in a time of uncertainty required us to change the way we conduct legislative business. So we reviewed and updated our legislative agenda to focus on critical priorities, and for the first time, we appointed a committee to drive monitoring and implementation of our agenda. Notwithstanding these efforts, we cannot escape the hard truth that this has been a tough year of suffering for too many citizens, a year like none before. If we learned nothing else, we learned that we have a limited window to address problems that have been a long time in the making. This year, we have seen that the structural inadequacies of our economy and healthcare systems, our internal security and justice architecture have left us dangerously exposed to the risk of a complete and irreversible loss of faith in the Nigerian project by a large section of our citizens. Despite spirited government efforts, our economy is still overly reliant on the sale of crude oil. Vast swaths of potential in tourism and agriculture, manufacturing and technology, media and entertainment remain untapped due to insecurity, infrastructural deficits, policy and regulatory inconsistency. The risks we face are not abstract. In the aftermath of the NSAS protests, we saw it in the flames that engulfed our cities. We saw it 2 weeks ago in Zabamari with the massacre of citizens farming for survival, and most recently in the abduction of young boys seeking to improve their lives through education in Kankara. We commend the efforts of the security agencies who, working together, have secured the release of the Kankara boys and ensured their safe return to their families. We must recognize the evolving nature of the risks we face from insurgency and banditry and be prepared to adapt our efforts to overcome this danger. The 9th House of Representatives will continue to address the security challenges that threaten our country. We have initiated and will continue efforts to reform the statutory framework for police accountability through the Police Service Commission Reform Bill, which has passed second reading. We will continue to exercise our constitutional powers of oversight to demand more from the military and security services, even as we make sure to provide the resources they need to train, equip, and provide for the welfare of their men and women who bear arms on our nation's behalf and in our name. The responsibility of undoing the damage of many years has fallen on us. We have a lot of work to do. We are each called to lead our nation towards the promised land. The risk of a destructive renegotiation of our nationhood. Honorable colleagues, I do not speak to you today from a place of despair. I come to you with an abundance of hope and an unshakable belief in the triumphant spirit of our nation. We are God's people, a country of diverse cultures, united by our incomparable ability to bloom and thrive despite adversity. If we determine not to be consumed by our differences, if we come together in love and strength and faith to seek the common good, it won't be too long before we attain and leave for our children the inheritance of a prosperous nation where peace and justice reign for all. This is the goal to which we must remain committed. I want to, at this time, especially commend once more the health workers, the frontline doctors, nurses, laboratory technicians, care providers, and all those who have every day of this year led the fight against an unseen yet deadly enemy in COVID-19. We recognize their commitment and honor their sacrifice. I pay tribute to the men and women who bear arms in our name, who stand in the gap, risking their lives in our defense. Let us all carry in our hearts the memory of those who have paid the highest price in blood in defense of our Constitution and our democracy. May God bless and keep them all forever. I remember also the ones we lost this year, our dearly beloved colleagues, friends, and family who reached for the heavens and touched the hand of God. We mourn them still, but find comfort in the memory of their lives and the assurance of their peaceful repose. The recent uptick in positive cases of COVID-19 is a clear and present danger that will only be defeated by strict adherence to the guidelines on masks, social distancing, and personal hygiene. Please take this seriously. We are not out of the woods yet, and we cannot afford to act as if we are. Honorable colleagues, as we go, I wish us well. I wish us a Merry Christmas, and I pray that we will all be reunited in January to continue the people's business. Thank you, and God bless you all. Leader.
Let me adopt it. We need to adopt. Have we adopted we have adopted? I think we need to move for the adoption. Confirm from him whether.
Before you do that, Honorable colleagues, in my bid to hurriedly get away, I left out 2 paragraphs of my statement. So I shall continue. Honorable colleagues, I thank you all for your service this year in the House of Representatives. Our work is not nearly done, and I urge you to use this recess opportunity to each give account of your service to the people whose hopes and dreams you represent in these honorable chambers. I encourage you to subject yourselves to their judgment and criticism, accept their observations and encouragement, so that we may return. We will work hard, work well, and work together to achieve the common goals of a peaceful nation. Again, I wish you a Merry Christmas, and I'll ask the Chairman Business to suspend the rest of the order paper before we adopt the votes and proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do suspend its relevant rules to enable it adopt the votes and proceedings of today's sitting. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Anderson.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Tijana Bukari Jobe, representing Dawakin Tofari Mingado Tofa. I do second the motion as amply moved by Chairman, Rules and Business. Thank you.
Okay, so the rest of the items step down. Would you get to do the third reading of the appropriation? I think we need to do the third reading. We haven't done that. You have to do the third reading.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, perhaps due to the relevance and importance of the Appropriation Act which you have just considered and passed, Right Honorable Speaker, by your leave and the leave of the honorable members of the House, I move that this House do take the third reading of the Appropriation Act 2021. I so move.
Who wants to make history? Honorable Fred? Who's that? No. Who's that in front of Fred? Honorable Fred, the leader does not want you to second his will. Go ahead, put on your mic. Yeah, your mic. Is that Shaba? Who's that? This is your cap. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Barrister Boniface Merengwa. I represent the people of Ikwere, member of Federal Concern, River State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion. My brother, I so second.
Those who support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, the total sum of 13 trillion, 588 billion, 27 million, 886,175 naira only, of which 496 billion, 528 million, 471,273 naira only is for statutory transfers. 3 trillion, 324 billion, 380 million naira only is for debt service. 5 trillion, 641 billion, 970 million, 60,680 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 4,125,149,354,222 naira only is for contribution to the development fund for capital expenditure for the year ending 31 December 2021, third reading.
Be read third time and passed. Honorable colleagues, I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of today, Monday, 21st, December 2020.
Thank you. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, thank God. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members of the House, once again, Ado Dogwa is my name. I represent the good people of Dogwa, Tudunwada Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, by the leave of the chair and the leave of my respective members, I stand today as the leader of the 9th House of Representatives. I therefore rise to move that this House do adjourn to the 26th date of January 2021 by Allah's grace. I so move. Thank you.
That's 26. That's a very long time. Leader, please don't go making children. Yes, Honorable Chidoka.
But I will make more members on the floor, more members into the ruling party.
Thank you,
We're begging you.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obinna Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. I rise this afternoon on the 21st of December 2020 to second the motion ably moved by the leader of the House that this House do stand adjourned to the 26th of January 2021. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Motion for adjournment, 26th January, moved by the leader, seconded by Honorable Chidoka. Those in support, to say aye. Those against, please say nay. Honestly, honorable colleagues, honestly, you know me. I will do it. We will divide the House, and the nays will stay here. Those in support that this House adjourn to January 26, please move to this side. Please move to this side. Those against, please move to this side. Sergeant at Arms, stand by the door, please. The ayes have it.